All right, let's just jump right in. We've all been playing around with AI chatbots, right? But I bet you've also started to notice where they kind of fall short. Today, we're going to look past those limitations. We're talking about a whole new, much smarter way for AI to actually work with our data.
You know that feeling, right? You ask a chatbot a pretty complex question, something you really need an answer to, and it comes back with something completely useless. It honestly feels like it's just guessing. And the crazy thing is, it kinda is. Most of these systems are just searching for keywords without really getting the context or even what kind of data they're sifting through. They're basically searching with a blindfold on.
And this quote from the folks over at Weaviate just hits the nail on the head. The core problem is that for most of these AIs, it's just text in, text out. We type words, it spits words back. But think about it. Our data is so much more than that. We've got tables, we've got product info, GitHub tickets, charts, all this rich, structured stuff. We need an AI that can actually see and understand all of that, not just a wall of text.
So, when you put the old way and the new way side by side, the difference is just massive. In one corner, you've got your traditional RAG, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation. It basically grabs documents it thinks are relevant to help an AI answer you, but it's still a blind search. You only get text back, and you're kind of just crossing your fingers for a good result. But then, in the other corner, you have Agentic RAG. This thing takes action based on context. It can show you the data in a visual way, and, this is the big one, it actually understands the structure of your data. It is a genuine leap forward.
So here we are, at a classic matrix moment. You've got a choice to make. You can take the blue pill, stick with the simple vector searches we're all used to, the whole turning words into numbers thing. Or you can take the red pill with us, and we can see just how deep this agentic RAG rabbit hole really goes. And to guide us on this trip, we have a new open source framework from Weaviate, and it's called Elysia.
So what's the magic behind Elysia? What makes it so different? Well, it all comes down to three core ideas, three pillars that work together to create an AI that's just fundamentally smarter. Let's break them down one by one.
Okay, pillar number one is something called decision trees. Now think about this. Instead of just handing an AI agent a massive toolbox with every single tool imaginable and saying, good luck, which is total chaos, right? Elysia does something much smarter. It guides the agent through a structured flowchart, a decision tree. It's a logical, step-by-step path where at every single point, the AI knows exactly what it just did and what its options are for the next step. No more guessing.
And this process is just super logical. First, the agent looks at the goal. Then it picks the best tool for that specific job. It carries out the action, and then it passes its reasoning on to the next step. But here's the really crucial part, the error handling. If a tool breaks, or if the AI figures out a task is just impossible, like, say, trying to find car prices in a database full of lipstick shades, it doesn't just freeze or get stuck in some endless loop. It actually flags the problem and makes a smart choice about whether to try again or just switch to a totally different approach. All right, on to pillar number two, dynamic data display. And this is where we finally break out of that boring text-in, text-out prison. Instead of just giving you a paragraph of text, Elysia actually looks at the data in your answer and dynamically picks the best way to show it to you. The output is custom-tailored to the information itself.
And we're not just talking theory here. This system can pump out all kinds of formats. You ask about products, boom, you get e-commerce cards. You ask about a project, you get something that looks just like a GitHub ticket. You ask about sales numbers, you get a chart. The response actually fits the data. It's what you'd want to see.
Now for pillar number three, and this is the one that really ties everything together. Automatic data expertise. Honestly, this might be the biggest game changer of them all. Get this. Before Elysia even thinks about doing a search, an LLM first scans your database to understand its structure, its content, how everything is connected. This is the key. It's not searching blind anymore. It's like giving the AI a detailed map of the entire territory before it takes a single step. Huge.
Okay, so that's all the theory. Sounds pretty cool, right? But what does this actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's put Elysia to the test and look at a real-world example from a skincare app called Glow. It's actually built on this exact framework.
So, imagine a user asks this: what products work with retinol but won't irritate my sensitive skin? Now that is a question that would absolutely break most standard chatbots. Why? Because it's not a simple keyword search. It needs to understand ingredients, how they interact with each other, and a personal condition like sensitive skin. A basic search is just going to fall flat on its face.
But for Elysia,
This is exactly where its genetic brainpower shines. It uses that decision tree to break the problem into smaller pieces. It sends out one agent, find the right products. It uses another tool to actually build a personalized skincare routine. And it uses another one to double-check that none of the ingredients are going to cause a bad reaction. It's a smart, multi-step investigation, not just a blind guess.
And the intelligence doesn't stop with those three pillars. Alicia has a few more clever tricks up its sleeve to make things more efficient and to help it learn. So first up, let's talk about how it handles a huge headache in the RAG world, dealing with massive documents.
So the old way is to pre-chunk everything. You take all your documents and chop them up into tiny pieces right from the start. As you can imagine, that takes up a ton of storage space. Alicia's approach is called chunk on demand. It's way smarter. It just looks at the summaries of the documents first. Only when it finds a document that's actually relevant does it then chop up that one document. This saves a ton on storage and just makes everything faster.
Okay, now, for what I think might be the coolest feature of the whole system. What about an AI that actually learns from you? Let's dive into Alicia's feedback system.
It's a really simple but incredibly powerful feedback loop. You see a response you like, you give it a thumbs up. Alicia then saves that great example. The next time a similar question comes up, it basically shows the AI, hey, remember this? This is what a perfect answer looks like. So it learns from its successes. Over time, the answers get way more personalized and accurate. And get this process is so effective, it can make smaller, faster, cheaper AI models perform just as well as the huge, expensive ones.
So when you take all of this, the decision trees, the dynamic displays, the data expertise, the smart features, and you put it all together, what does it actually mean for the future? Well, it means we're looking at a massive shift in how we interact with our data.
Let's just quickly recap the upgrade we're talking about here. Traditional RAG, it's basically a shot in the dark. Agentic RAG with Alicia, it's structured, intelligent decision-making. Traditional is stuck with text only. Agentic gives you dynamic visuals. We're going from an AI that's clueless about your data to one that's an absolute expert on it. The efficiency boost across the board is just huge.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Agentic RAG isn't just a slightly better search engine, it's a fundamental change in what this technology is for. We're moving away from a passive tool that just fetches stuff to an active, intelligent assistant that actually helps you understand your data, see it clearly, and then do something with it. And that really leaves us with a pretty mind-bending question to think about. As these AI systems become true experts on our data, when they understand not just the words, but the meaning and the structure behind them, how is that going to change the very questions we think to ask? I mean, what new doors open up when the AI helping us is no longer flying blind?